Hello, everyone. This is my love and finance tarot guidance for the month of December 2021. It has been customary for me to share this final monthly reading for the year across my social media. I truly hope you enjoy it, for I feel the year ends on a more positive note. And do not forget to keep an eye out for my 2022 tarot readings, both general overview and individual sun signs, available on select subscription platforms. Feel free to inquire for details. Welcome to December. Eclipse season will continue, and we have some major shifts to discuss as well. The month of December begins with Neptune stationing direct on the 1st at 20 degrees Pisces. It is time to put your dreams into motion. The 4th brings the second eclipse of this season, this one being a new moon total solar eclipse at 12 degrees Sagittarius. You may recall that even the Sagittarius lunar eclipse earlier in the year was a total eclipse as well. Mars enters Sagittarius on the 13th. It will remain there until January 24th. Try to have a plan of some sort for this time frame, which you know you can stick to. Otherwise, you may wear yourself out from this scattered energy. It will be very helpful in spiritual pursuits, foreign relations, creativity, a plethora of ideas, and an ability to see the big picture, which big picture is great and all that, but it will not be as easy for detail. You may not want to sign anything until you have checked all other cosmic events. Also on the 13th, Mercury enters Capricorn through January 2nd. This is a more grounded energy, which may not favor a party atmosphere, but it can help you meet your deadlines, whether they are a month or year end. A full moon 27 degrees Gemini occurs on the 18th, bringing an end to eclipse season. Although the North Node is still in Gemini, this full moon is not an eclipse of any type. Venus retrograde, people, which only happens about every 18 months, will begin on December 19th at 26 degrees Capricorn, not to go direct until January 29th at 11 degrees Capricorn. It will be time to take a second look at relationships and financial matters during the retrograde, and should something need to change, it is best to wait until the retrograde is complete before making your move. Also on the 19th, Chiron, the wounded healer, goes direct. The Sun enters Capricorn December 21st at the time of the winter-summer solstice to stay through January 19th. The third and final Saturn-Uranus square will take place on December 24th at 11 degrees Aquarius and Taurus, respectively. The universe does not care if it is the holidays. It may be best not to make concrete plans which you cannot break. Strive to be flexible, especially if any sudden forced changes are being pushed upon you. Try to roll with it and make the best of things. This may allow you to be free of a situation which was far too restrictive for you anyway. If you are curious as to how this works, check back to February 14th and June 14th. Jupiter exits Aquarius on the 28th, not to return until April 12th, 2032. You had a preview of Jupiter in Pisces earlier this year. Now you get to see just what Jupiter has in store for you in 2022. Jupiter has a way of bringing to you the people who can help you achieve your goals. As for aspects, Mars in Scorpio will sextile Pluto in Capricorn on December 6th. This is exactly the energy you need to do more than put one foot in front of the other. It is time to tackle those projects which you have been pushing aside. Now you can go full steam ahead with no more procrastinating. Mercury squares Neptune on the 7th. Whenever you hear Neptune, think of fog, and with Mercury in the mix, suffice it to say, thoughts will not be clear. If anything, there will be confusion. It is not advisable to sign any type of papers now. A person can be easily duped under this transit. Keep a watchful eye on your senior loved ones so they do not fall prey to any scammers. Mars squares Jupiter on the 8th. This transit can provide the impetus to give your all to an important project. Just be careful with Mars that you are not behaving combatively in any situations. The 11th brings a conjunction between Venus and Pluto. This may sound all lovely and as if it brings possibilities for love, but it more likely can bring out the darker side in someone. During this time, whether it is another individual or you, do your best to avoid tendencies toward jealousy and possessiveness. Stalker tactics are not the best way to go. Be careful not to allow yourself to be manipulated by a loved one now. Also on the 11th, Mercury will sextile Jupiter. This may be a good time to map out your goals and projects for the coming year. While it is not a detail-oriented transit, you may be able to hold conversations to see who is on board with your ideas. The Sun squares Neptune on the 12th. Self-doubt in the form of worthiness can be a problem now. Rather than confidence, sensitivity may become an issue, hindering progress in areas where you should be prepared to surge forward. Communicate truthfully and do your best to read between the lines with everyone else, because you never know who may be trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Mars will oppose the North Node December 15th, basically bringing a push-me-pull-me energy, leaving you torn between what was in your past and your future, which lies ahead. It kind of sounds like a plot for a Hallmark movie to me. On the 18th, Mercury squares Chiron. Perhaps others can benefit from your experiences. Opening up and talking about your wounds and how you have healed them can not only be therapeutic for you, but valuable advice for those walking a path similar to the one you have already traveled. The Sun sextiles Jupiter on the 19th, and good luck is favored here. There may be other factors involved which determine just how grand your luck may be. Allow yourself to attract it. Mercury and Uranus form a trine on the 20th. An energy like this one is best enjoyed with a less rigid agenda for the day. Brainstorming is a great activity now, and being open-minded can really be to your advantage here. This is quite the social vibe, and the people you may meet could be out of your regular circles, bringing new energy and feelings to you. I discussed Saturn square Uranus earlier with the planetary transits. The good news is this tussle between restriction and freedom does not come back around until 2043. Mars trines Chiron on the 25th. Now, rather than only dreaming about something, you can implement one of your plans. Venus will conjunct Pluto on the 25th. The timing of this one may be difficult for some. If you are attached and in a healthy relationship, you may want to spend time alone together. But those who are unattached with no one serious may struggle with the energy, wanting there to be someone. It could be a recipe for actions you will regret later. On the 26th, Mercury sextiles Neptune. Many of you will still be celebrating holidays on this day, so use this for more relaxing activities. Perhaps as an artist would go to their studio to create, your intuition will be peaking at this time. Pay attention to it. Mercury conjuncts Venus on the 29th. With Venus being retrograde, my normal advice would only apply to those in a permanent relationship, affirming your affections for another. Typically, the language of love works here, but I would steer clear of proposals or any expression of your feelings at the moment. Also on the 29th, the Sun will square Chiron. You may be craving attention, which spotlights your talents while doubting that you are good enough to do so. Mars and Saturn form a sextile on the 29th. What a great year-end energy. Not only does it enable you to tackle those things which must be done by year-end, but it also helps you to set some things in place for the new year. Mercury will conjunct Pluto on December 30th. As you ponder the meanings of life, you may find yourself interested in subjects and new forms of study, such as the occult. Okay, that was quite the mouthful. Now, while December may certainly be much more promising than November, uh, let's put it this way, it definitely has plenty of energy to go around and some very big energy shifts to pay attention to, as well as, of course, the total solar eclipse. And you seem to be getting all of your, you know, whatever together. Your crap, your responsibilities, like you're handling it well. But it's been a long, hard road to get this far. Definitely you have been patient, all right? And, kind of even holding back a little bit, all right, when it comes to people and things that you might say or do, that kind of like eggshells that are there. And every once in a while, you may feel as though this gets in the way of your changes of who you want to be. But transitions of all types are definitely a happening thing. There is some good news that's in here. And, you know, I'm more inclined to say closer to the full moon. You're feeling more in charge, more in charge of your changes and the things that you need to do. Yeah. The moon cycles this month appear to be very key with what is going on. And, it's like the energies that are here, right? You got the Capricorn energy coming in later in the month. And you also have Jupiter going into Pisces. Yeah, hopes and dreams. Something feels restorative here, like with, I want to say, traditions, okay? There is just so much to be learned, even when it comes to love, all right? There's something's going on. Maybe this is, setting you up for 2022, and I have no idea how those are going to sound. I'm toying with the idea of doing the lengthy ones again this year. Last year, if you recall, I was extremely sick. Never been sick like that in my entire life. And it actually set me back for all of 2021, to be honest. Now, what do we have going on here? Man, your goals. There's, boy, when I can't get the words out, it's like more than I can handle sometimes, because the pain that you've had to endure and the losses in life, right? It's like when you suddenly find success, when you suddenly have victories, I get the feeling that there is a great deal of emotion involved with this month. Is it because of the eclipse season? I don't know. But most definitely, it's kind of like riding the wave. Tons of intuition at play here. And, when I went through all of the transits, the aspects, and everything in the beginning, I mentioned Neptune a few times. Neptune is just like, okay, what am I doing here, right? And remember, I said about Neptune going direct and putting your dreams into motion. So there's been a lot of inner work that's gone on during that retrograde. And late November, you were probably feeling this as you're headed into December. But, with Neptune, that station is going to take a while. It's going to be at that degree. Okay, so you're really looking at all of these things and trying to make choices. It may not be 100% clear. That might be why it takes you like 2-3 weeks before, you're really kicking in with all of the other energy changes as well. Interesting what I keep hearing in my head. It's like you wind up this month right where you should be, right when you should be there. Okay, talk about timing. All right, so there's no rushing that's going on here. It's all very, I want to say, plotted out by the universe. So to me, that's really extremely interesting. And yeah, See, the new year brings a new opportunity. It brings a whole new perspective regarding the future. I'd say there's a great deal of reflection going on here as well. But that's very typical when you get to December and you start pondering, what's coming, what has been, especially sometimes when things haven't worked out in your favor over the past year. Doesn't mean everything went wrong, but you may find yourself dwelling from time to time on those, and it's very important to shift your perspective to the future. And I want to say, whatever's going on here, March is going to be key, specifically by the beginning of the astrological new year when the sun is moving into Aries. So it sounds so far away, but it really isn't. My goodness, I hate when they do not give me a time, but I'm thinking maybe February, okay? It's like there's some sort of a portal that is here, one that leads to full success. Talk about things that you've wanted. It's never too late to have them. Remember that. After the new moon, gradually things begin to, become more clear. All right. It's not even as much about crossroads as it is balance, balancing your decisions, balancing your life. But in this balance, there is manifestation. There's something here that while money is, something that everyone needs, I'd say there's more to the success that is available, and it's what is coming. Now, I'm not a wedding person, okay? So forgive me because I don't know the music, but it's not the Here Comes the Bride. It's maybe what is played after the wedding is complete. Maybe when they're exiting. If you can hear that music in your head, all right, there's all this swirling change that's coming in. But when it drops you off, like when eclipse season is over, which what I say is like the 19th, there you are, landing back on Earth, all grounded and everything. But it's like a marriage, but it doesn't mean you're getting married. I don't know how to put this. It's a very, very good connection, very celebratory. This could have to do, even with Jupiter later in the month. I just, when I see this, it's like as it's all coming together, you are more like having more of what you need and wanting to share. There's a generosity that's here. I always call it generosity of spirit, like paying it forward. But there's something that just, it's so beautiful and it feels so good. And I'm hearing that music. And for the life of me, it's like it won't let me put it into words what it all means. But boy, oh boy, you are taking charge. Now, if we consider how you are, pursuing your hopes and dreams and your changes and all this going on, it's like the worry doesn't really go away, but you're getting control over everything. And let's see, this is December. I want to say by late June, there's something here like you are mighty, you are fierce, okay? You are definitely not waiting until then for change. You are the change. You are a force to be reckoned with. Wow, I don't know where all this is coming from, but I'm loving it, okay? It's like the universe is, helping you find creative ways to do things. Wow. Comfort. Comforting others. Oh boy, there's When I say drastic change, if you were in a position, now I'm not going to say that the universe is going to, flip-flop everybody, okay? And, all of a sudden things are reversed, because it's not like that. But I think that there are some, big rags to riches stories going on. I don't know why. Maybe Uranus is involved, but there, with opportunities and things that are there, this allows for recovery. Definitely a Sagittarius influence here. Also, a huge reminder everywhere: free will. You have free will to make choices. Believe me, I have heard all the stories. So many of you, you choose to do things and it hasn't really panned out. Something tells me that you are finding your way. Yeah, that's a good thing. I never remember what I say or when I said it, but I feel like it could have been a weekly, and that I was discussing where you're at by, like next August, and things that are happening between August and October of next year. It's very different than where you're at now, but something tells me that, like, the seed has already been planted and it's there. Whether you see what's happening or not, it's all being set up. And this is about those puzzle pieces, right? You've been really struggling to make them fit, finding the right people, the right places, the right situations, and it's going to work. If I said you were going to take your life back, that would probably be the incorrect wording. It's more to the effect of, taking charge of it, right? With you being able to steer the course. And, this is it. I don't have to answer to anyone, pretty much. Okay, so I like the way this is headed. I really, truly do. There is, I think around the time I mentioned the transit with Jupiter, okay, when it comes to certain situations, you need to watch with people, especially when you get to the full moon, and then that's where your plans really kick in. That's where you start putting them in place and, getting things going. That's it. That's it right there. Something after the full moon. And you are, I think you finally got it. Maybe this Venus retrograde can be a good thing. Okay. Like I said, it only comes around every 18 months. And it helps give you, better perspective and reworking some things. And, well, looks to me like it is working. It is working. Whoa, big time. February may be the littlest, shortest month, but something tells me it's going to be a mighty one. Things are looking up. Once you get to February, you're finally getting past all of the retrograde energy that you've been working with. Since when? April? Maybe? Has it been? All right, that's a long, long time. Right? It's like 10 months of retrograde energy that just been kind of ugh. So things are looking up, and they start looking up this month. Wow. It's up to you. It is up to you. What do you want to create? See, it's like something is finally gelling for you. Maybe it's all been bouncing around in your head for, months on end or even longer. And you may occasionally pick something up and work at it and try to make sense of it. But I'm telling you, all of a sudden, some things are clicking. Might not be your entire life, but it's definitely something that's very important. And it's opening new roads by February, once all this retrograde energy is settled. That could be why I was seeing March when the new year begins. Yeah, Something tells me new year, new you. I don't know what you're up to, but I would say it's kind of like, you know, when you have a scientist who's searching for the perfect formula. Only in this case, the formula is for success and benevolent power. Yeah, power put to good use. And boy, oh boy, you know, the better the use and the more that you create, I think it just feeds off itself. It fuels itself. All right. It's not just creativity, it's divine inspiration. But, you know, whenever this strikes you, okay, and that's what it feels like, is like all of a sudden there's a moment when, you know, it clicks as like in your brain and you know what you gotta do, and you're in there to you don't care what's going on in the rest of the world. It's like, I have to work on this. While I know what it is, I need to get it down on paper, or I need to make it so that I can show it to people. Whatever it's about, this is your vision, this is your creation, and it is opening up new vistas for you. I want to thank you all very much for being here, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care.